Studies show that you are 72% more likely to watch a video with a golden doodle than without. So this is Paul, Dr. Nacho, and Tilly from Philly bring you a recap of a CE course I took today, a CE course on transitions. This was hosted by my amazing friends and sponsors. One is a transitions broker, a transition specialist, another a dental focused attorney. We can help you make better decisions for your career to help you smile more and cry less. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us. You need a team to help you succeed, a team to make your dreams come true and avoid screams. I made a huge mistake in working with a dual representation broker, not once, but twice, in buying our second and third dental practice, something I regret. Cost me money. I wish there were Facebook groups. I wish there were podcasts to help me back then, but it was the olden days. They were not there. I technically have no one to blame but myself, but I did not have access to the information I needed to succeed. So hopefully information like this will help you. So what happened at this CE course? We learned about what's happening in the transition space, updates on DSOs, private practice sales, what is going on, and some spicy information we learned, Tilly. I know you're going to be shocked. A very, very big DSO, very, very, very big DSO, closed 50 locations. I even got a DM from a dentist who was working at one of these locations that said, I have lost my job. I need to get a new job and I need a dental focused attorney to take a look at my contract. So one of the tips that you will learn throughout is get a dental focused attorney. I know, see, Tilly's afraid of it already. A dental focused attorney to review your contract at every age and stage of your career. I regret not doing this at big decisions in my dental career. A dental focused attorney is there to make you aware, prepared, and responsibly scared. If you're going to sign a contract with a DSO or private practice dentist for employment, it's a significant thing. You want it to be a win-win, and you also want to be fully aware of what you are signing. You want to know what are the red flags, what are the things that are going to impact your future. As an example, I'm the founder of Dentist Job Connect and Dental Nachos, all because my dream of playing professional basketball, as Tilly knows, did not work out, but this backup dream, I'm really enjoying that. And let's say that you want to buy a practice in your hometown. You might not want to get an associate job in your hometown because your restrictive covenant could impact where you want to buy that practice. So what's the recap from this course? We learned some spicy information that a very, very, very big DSO is closing 50 locations, as we talked about. So what does this mean? Why did they do it? Some of these private equity groups will say, hey, we do not want to keep running the locations that are not profitable. There are many reasons why this could happen. See, Tilly's all worked up about it already. So this doesn't mean that all DSOs are bad or all DSOs are good or all private practices are good or all private practices are bad. It's just information for you to be aware of to help you make better decisions. Because we learned another large DSO, 400 to 500 locations, are being taken over by their investors. What does that mean? Tilly does not know. Many dentists don't know. I really didn't know what this meant. I've been asked during the course if the broker could explain that. And that means that these practices are being controlled now by the lending institutions. These are likely not the dental focused banks that you are thinking about. They could be other types of lending institutions, but this is not a good thing for the dentists that sold to these DSOs. There's a phrase or a term, the second bite of the apple. What this means, Tilly, is let's say we have Dr. Tilly and she has a $3 million DSO deal. And they give you, Tilly, $2 million cash at close. Go on wherever vacation you want, get as many dog treats as you want, but that $2 million. Let's say you have a good dental focused attorney where they cannot take this money back. They cannot take this money back from you. So you got your $2 million, you pay taxes, you put in the bank. But then there's an additional $1 million that you invest with the DSO. There's different ways for this to happen. I'm not an expert on this, but it could be in the parent company. It could be part in the parent company, part at your practice level. But this additional money is supposed to grow, and you get what they call a second bite of the apple, where they might say, hey, this $1 million could turn into $2 million, but it also could go to zero. So one of the take-home points is that if you are not happy with the cash at close for your transition, you likely should not buy that practice because that may be all the money you're going to get. Now, people are going to say, that doesn't happen all the time. And it's true. There have been successful recaps, but there's also been unsuccessful recaps, which I think are oftentimes not a recap at all. So one of the take-home points is just to work with professionals to evaluate the deals for the biggest decisions of your life, whether it's private practice or a DSO, because things don't always go well. It doesn't mean that things will always not go well, or that's not the best grammar. That doesn't mean that your deal won't go well. There are dentists who are happy they've transitioned with DSOs. I know them personally. I work with DSOs as the founder of Dentist Job Connect, helping them find associates. I work with private practice dentists, helping them find associates. It's just for you to be aware and prepared to make the best decisions for you. Now, what's happening in the private practice space with practice transitions? So if you're a buyer in a hot market, in a saturated market, practices can go very, very fast. A practice is listed outside of this window in Center City, Philadelphia, in Tilly's hometown, that does $1.2 million, and the dental practice owner makes $500,000 a year. It's reasonable for a practice like that to be sold for 100% of collections. So if you are a buyer in a saturated or hot market, pay attention, connect with brokers, connect with banks, connect with attorneys, accountants, build your team. So when the practice that comes up for sale is one that you want, you are ready to move forward. The brokers talked about all the time, buyers paying attention, being communicative are so important. Now, sellers, if you have a practice, you're thinking of selling to a private practice dentist. One of the take-home points from this seminar was get your numbers cleaned up. Don't have some weird, messy, as the broker said, tangled story of, oh, my expenses, they're not really, all practice expenses. Some of them are personal expenses. And I am not the IRS. I don't know if you didn't know that. Tilly, she is also not the IRS. But the story of your practice and how it makes money has to be clean, has to be clear. So if you have a $1.5 million practice and you report $250,000 on your tax return, but you really say, oh, it's really more like $600,000, this happened, that happened, spend the time with your accountant cleaning up your books, making it clear. The other things that you can do are there things that you can do now as a seller and make your practice more attractive for a buyer. So if Dr. Tilly, 32 years old out of school, says, my dream is to own a practice, and you're like, I am so tired, you can have my practice, Dr. Tilly, what are some things that will make it more attractive to buyers? Number one, for the books to be as clean and profitable as possible. Number two, if you do accept dental insurance, look to negotiate your insurance fees. There's companies that we know that sponsor a group that do this. Why not get paid for the same amount of work you're doing? Many dental practice owners never look into this. Do not, as the cliche says, take your foot off the gas when it comes to new patients. You want to see a steady influx of new patients. Additionally, if you are doing what dentists call bread and butter dentistry, those are some of the most attractive practices to buy, where the buyer can come in and do fillings, crowns, night guards, hygiene, implant restorations to be able to do that work. If you're one of those super GPs, in the lecture they used a $1.8 million practice that's super profitable, there's a smaller buyer pool for that practice because you need a dentist who wants to take on that size practice and also can do those skills like endo, clear aligners, or implants. Your facility matters. Make sure facility looks good. Make sure it's not in disrepair. If you don't have a CBCT, that's going to be a thing. It doesn't mean you have to run out and buy one tomorrow, but why it's so important to connect with brokers to see what is a need to have for buyers and what is a nice to have. A need to have and a nice to have. One of the need to haves they talked about during this presentation was the need to have was electronic charts. If you have paper charts, it's a big problem. So these are things that you can think about as a private practice seller and buyer. And then when the attorney got up there was a lot of talk about leases. I'll ask the audience here, but it's kind of like one of those shows where I know you can't respond. If your lease is month to month and you're about to sell your practice, is this a good thing, Tilly, or a bad thing? Raise one paw for good things, two paw for bad things. So if your lease is month to month, and I would not have known this, and you are about to sell your practice, it is a bad thing. It is a bad thing. You do not want to say, oh, my lease is month to month. That makes things so easy. That is not a good thing when transitioning a practice. So make sure you work with your dental focus attorney to make sure what you're paying is in line. Maybe your landlord is charging you more than the other tenants in that space. Make sure you're looking at that and hiring professionals. And you don't want to be on a month-to-month lease when you're about to sell your practice. That's not positive for the transition. I would not have known that either. So that is my recap from being at this event. It was an amazing C event. We can help you in any way. You can text buy to 215-543-6454. You can text sell to 215-543-6454. You can also go to dentalnachos.com and our website will help you get to wherever you need to be. We have free resources. We'll do complimentary strategy calls. We will connect you with people. I have courses on how to be more profitable, patient-centered, decrease your stress, increase your success. As we say, smile more and cry less. So if you have any questions for me, reach out to me at dentalnachos.com. You can email Dr. Nacho, Dr. Nacho at dentalnachos.com. We'd love to help you. So hopefully These are some things that you can think about. If you watch this video and you want to know any specifics about the broker or the attorney or the name of the DSO or what's happening, please reach out to me. I'll be glad to share it with you one-on-one. Dental Nachos is an amazing community to help you learn, laugh, and feel less alone. Dentist Job Connect is another fantastic platform that is free for job seekers and affordable for practice owners to help you unlock more freedom, more free time, and fuel practice growth.